Welcome back, everybody! I got these beautiful pumpkin shaped wax melts from the range. They smell absolutely amazing, and as you know, it is chilly and it is very early in the morning here, so I'm not going to be opening the windows just yet. So I just want to make the room and the house smell a bit fresher with these wax melts and my scented candles all aglow. Yep, we're back to starting in the main bedroom. Things are back to normal now I've finished decorating Alyssa's room, and I can finally start getting back into some sense of routine. Funnily enough, once I get back into routine, I'll have to do Craig's room, because Craig's room is next on my list. I'll be ordering his bits really soon for his room. I can't wait to get started on that project. God, it won't be long. He'll be maybe halfway through 2025 when hopefully everything will be sorted out. This house will be running smoothly and I'll be able to get through the housework in like an hour. This is, of course, assuming that I don't turn into a lazy pumpkin, which is what I've been these past few weeks. I literally have done so little. So little. It's terrible how lazy I've become. I'm actually ashamed to admit it. I do feel quite disgusted with myself that I've become as lazy as I have. I have no motivation to do anything. I'm not particularly depressed. I'm not particularly over the moon happy excited. I'm just very meh. I'm just lazy. I've been waking up in the mornings and scrolling on my days off instead of actually getting up and moving. Or I've been binge watching shows on Netflix or Prime or YouTube, literally anything other than getting my backside in gear and getting the household chores done. It's just terrible, and the worst part of it is logically I know how to stop. You just don't do the thing that you're doing, but I just don't know how to stop. It's formed such a habit now. I wake up straight on my phone, or I put something on to watch or do. Oh, someone asked me while we're on this what I spray the bed with. That is the Astonish fabric softener. Sometimes I do use the Astonish antibacterial stuff that's for multi-surface cleaning. So yeah, just while I was remembering that question, that's what's in this spray bottle. Astonish multi-surface cleaner. So I dust with that, I spray the soft furnishings with that, and I mop the floor with that. So yeah, just while we were there, I thought I would get that in because people have been asking. I find the Astonish multi-purpose cleaner, it's one size fits all really. You just have to have one bottle in your cupboard. I do like the Astonish fabric freshness spray though. It smells absolutely gorgeous, so I do get that from time to time. But there you go. Anyway, back to what I was saying before I rudely interrupted myself there. Bad me. The lazy bug. I don't know what's going on. Perhaps it's because the weather's changed. As you can see, obviously the mornings are darker later. It's very chilly where we are at the minute. So it just sort of takes a little bit extra to find the will to get out of bed and get stuff done when you'd rather cuddle up with your hot chocolate or your pumpkin spice latte and watch your favourite shows under your electric blanket. Blanket. Guys, I trip over my words quite a lot. As any of you who've listened to my previous videos will know, there is often a word glitch somewhere happening. But let's move on from that, shall we? Back onto this subject of being super lazy. Now, I have been seeing a cognitive behavioural therapist, and during our session today, she happened to mention that I should get myself or consider getting myself tested for ADHD. Now, I have seen comments on people's videos that go along the lines of, well, just because you've got ADHD doesn't mean your house can be a mess all the time. Or just because your house is a mess doesn't mean you have ADHD. There are people out there with ADHD that can be clean. Don't just blame your laziness on ADHD. And comments that basically say that sort of thing, comments that are basically saying people are blaming their ADHD for being lazy. And there probably are some people out there who just say oh, I have ADHD and that's why my house is a mess. They're just using it as an excuse. There's no diagnosis there, or even if there is, they are just using it as an excuse. There probably are people out there like that. But I know from like my own personal experience, there are people out there with ADHD who can function perfectly well. Their houses are clean, they go to work, they just become hyper focused on certain things, or they're extremely passionate about certain things. That's how their ADHD affects them. Now, I want to get tested so I can find out for sure whether my ADHD is causing this chaotic living style, or whether I just have a chaotic living style. If I go to the doctor and I fill in this test and it comes back, I have ADHD, then my plan is to get either therapy or medication to help me deal with these symptoms, to help me deal with this chaotic lifestyle. Now, if it comes back I don't have ADHD, then I need to look at what else is making me lazy. I need to start working on myself to become more efficient and get those jobs done I need to get done. But before I do either of them, I need to figure out if this is like an actual medical problem, or if I'm fine and I just need to, pull my socks up. I will get an appointment. I'm working the next few days, but I should be able to try and get myself in and get myself assessed. So yeah, while we're on the subject of socks, there's Dell's new socks. He brought like 30 odd pairs of socks. I don't know how many pairs he actually brought, but there were loads. And I weren't carrying them all over, I'd just dropped them. So I thought, stuff it, I'm just going to throw them across the room. My aim started out pretty good, and then, well, it just went to pot. I was just randomly throwing socks at an open drawer. But hey, it saved me walking backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards with his brand new socks. He's quite proud of his new socks, bless him. They're so white as well. You don't realise how dull your whites get. Even if you're washing them separate, they still seem to go this weird greyish colour. It's like when you go into the paint shop at like B&Q or Homebase or something. It's never just like a pure brilliant white. It's always like, I don't know, 50 shades of white. And you're picking between... Well, we've all seen that advert, haven't we? Where there's like different shades of white. I am thinking on getting some laundry additives that are just going to keep them looking really new and fresh for a bit longer. But to be honest, they're socks. They get stuffed in your shoes. They're hidden under his trousers. The tops of his socks are hidden under his trousers. No one's ever really going to see your socks. So I'm not sure if I'm that bothered or not. We'll find out. Maybe if he wants additives adding to his whites, then he can buy them and he can wash his own laundry. As I say that, I know it's not going to happen. He told me once, right? I was saying to him about how it's unfair that I'm the one that does all the housework and I'm the one that does all the laundry. And yes, he helps out occasionally, but what would happen if I literally just stopped doing the laundry and only washed my own stuff until everybody else started helping out and doing their bits? And he was like, well, just stop doing it. Stop doing everyone else's laundry. Everybody knows how the washing machine works, and eventually they'll get to a point where they've got no clean clothes and they'll have to use the washing machine, won't they? So I was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. I'm going to stop doing laundry. So I stopped doing laundry, and Alyssa started nicking my trousers, and Dell started wearing my socks. I kid you not, they actually started taking my clothes rather than use the washing machine. This is why I don't stop doing the laundry, because I would have no clean clothes. I would wash my clothes, and they would continue to take them. Craig, bless his soul, he wears clothes only as and when he has to. With his autism, he's not a big fan of wearing clothes. So as soon as he gets in from outside, he will put his pyjamas back on. So he doesn't really generate much laundry. But everyone else, yeah, they just take my clothes. It's insane. So that's, yeah, for those of you asking out there why I do everything, why I don't insist they help, why I don't stop doing things for them, it's because I end up paying either way. Either I do all the housework or they steal my clothes, they steal my cups, plates, bowls. A few videos ago, must have been about a year ago now, I cleaned the kitchen out. I decluttered the kitchen and I got rid of everything bar 5 knives, 5 forks, 5 spoons, 3 teaspoons, 1 for chocolate, 1 for tea, 1 for coffee, 5 mugs, we all had our own mugs, 5 plates, 5 side plates and 5 bowls. I got rid of everything else because I was sick to death of coming downstairs and collecting cups, plates and bowls from all around the house and having like a mountain of washing up that would take me hours to get through. So I limited it to 1 for every person. They started using each other's stuff. So, for example, and I'm not saying it was like one person that was doing it particularly. Let's use me as the example. I would come downstairs, right? And I had used my knife for dinner the night before and it was still sitting on the side. Now, Alyssa hadn't been in for dinner that night, so her knife was sitting clean in the knife and fork drawer. Now, instead of me wash up my own knife, what I would do would be get Alyssa's knife out of the cupboard and I'd dirty Alyssa's knife. Then Alyssa would come down the stairs complaining that her knives were never clean or her forks were never clean, so she had nothing to eat with. And that's what was happening. People would use their cutlery, their plate. It would then be dirty for the next time they wanted it, instead of washing up. They got all shouty, ranty, ravey because their stuff was dirty, and then used somebody else's. So we were always running out of plates, bowls, and because everybody was using everybody else's. It's ridiculous. It genuinely is ridiculous. And it doesn't matter what I put in place to stop this happening. It happens. People are like, oh, well, if they leave their clothes all over the floor, throw their clothes away. And that's genuinely been a comment I've had before. If they can't look after their stuff, throw it away. They clearly don't care about it. I could do that. Then they would take my things. If I got a lock for my cupboards, firstly, that's just so impractical. I'm not drilling holes in my chest of drawer and wardrobes so that people don't steal my stuff because they haven't got anything left to wear. But secondly, I know me, I'd lose the wretched key and then I wouldn't be able to get my own clothes anyway unless I broke the lock off. Same with cups, plates and bowls. Well, make sure you only have one each. Done that. Or insist they eat at the dinner table. I can insist they eat at the dinner table. I absolutely can do that. That's not a problem at all. Then their plates, cups and bowls won't end up upstairs. That's fantastic. But after we go to bed, my children are teenagers. For some reason, they've become nocturnal in their teenage years. I don't ever remember being nocturnal. But my teenagers are nocturnal. They will come downstairs and they will help themselves to food and drink and whatever during the night, take it up to their bedrooms. And that's when it will get left up there, if it's going to get left up there. Now, I have been told in the past to put locks on my kitchen cupboards. Again, I'm not drilling holes, even tiny screw holes, to put locks on my cupboard. And even if I did do that, A, we'd lose the key, unless the key was kept right close to the cupboards, and then that's just pointless. B, during the day we'd be in and out of the cupboards so much that they'd be left open, which ain't a problem during the day, but we'd forget to lock it before we went up to bed, which would then just defeat the purpose of it having a lock on it. Or we'd remember to lock it, we'd take the key upstairs to bed with us, and then one of us would get up for a drink in the night or something. You'd come downstairs, you'd forget your key, you'd have to go back upstairs, search for the key. It's just, I don't want to be a jailer in my own home. Plus, now my kids are old enough, they are buying their own foods and stuff. So they are buying their own products which are in the cupboards. Now, I would be majorly annoyed if I brought something from the shops and I put it in the cupboards and then the people I lived with locked the cupboard door so I couldn't get the thing I wanted. Also, how does one lock a fridge or a freezer? You can't drill into that, so how do you put a lock on them? Do you see the problems? I know there are 1,000,001 ways. I could just get all shouty, but to be fair, my kids probably wouldn't pay much attention to me shouting anyway. They're used to it at this point in their lives. I used to shout a lot. I don't shout so much now. I kind of found it being pointless, but I used to shout a lot. So they probably would just ignore that too. So yeah, literally all I've got left is basically on the days I'm at work, I don't do a lot. My job takes all the mental energy I've got just to get through a work day. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy my job. I do. I love my job. But it still takes a lot of mental and physical energy to get through my work day. By the time I come home, I'm done. I don't want to be cleaning up, and I am not going to do that. I'm tired. I want to relax. I want to watch my TV shows or read my book. I don't want to be scrubbing a toilet because someone couldn't be bothered to do it earlier in the day. Which means my day off is going to see like maybe a week's worth. It depends on, at what point in the week I get my day off. But it's normally about 4 consecutive days before I get round to cleaning. And yeah, it looks like this. And then I don't want to do it. My brain just says no. I'm entitled to have a flaming day off. So at the weekend, because Dell's home and we like to go out and do bits together, I tend not to clean when Dell's here. Not too much. Sometimes I do, but not too much. So literally, I get one day to clean up an entire week's worth of stuff. It's just crazy. Still, at least it keeps me fit and healthy, Look on the bright side. Where there is a bright side, you have to find it and look on it. Once I get everything all decorated, organised, the storage set up, hopefully this house is going to run a lot smoother and it's just going to allow me to fly around quick as a flash. Also, I genuinely find that when your house looks run down and dishevelled, even though it's clean, just because it looks the way it does, it makes you think it's unclean. And because you think it's unclean, you can't be as bothered to keep it nice and tidy. So hopefully the major redecoration and beautification of my home is going to mean everybody feels a little bit more prouder to be a part of the house and will help pick up bits as they go along. That's my hope. If not, I'm just going to stay really fit doing an entire house clean once a week, which means you guys get loads and loads of content and I get to ramble and offload once a week as well. There's always a silver lining to almost every single thing in life. Now, I know I said about the window revamp, just while I'm cleaning it, I thought I'd touch on that. It's still a video I am planning, it's in the making. Unfortunately, I just don't seem to have the motivation, the energy to get round to it. There's also a lot going to be taken in it, and I cannot find a decent window cleaner that will have it not streaky. I've tried the white vinegar, I've tried actual window cleaning sprays, things like that. I may get some new clean cloths. I think maybe going through the washing machine or having as many chemicals put on them as they've had through their lifetimes, that the actual cloths I'm using are what's leaving a residue behind. But yeah, I am going to be doing them. I think it will probably be as part of the spring clean in the new year. So I do promise, guys, I have not forgotten about your window makeover videos or window deep clean videos. They are coming up. As I said, with me doing everything on my one day off, there's a lot for me to get through and I tend not to have time to be deep cleaning. So once the whole house has been reset and redone, I should get time and then I'll do it. But I just wanted to let you all know I haven't forgot about it. When I say I'm going to do something, I will get to it eventually. It's a lot at the minute. There's little old me and one day to take care of 7 days worth of chaos. Now, in all reality, I could probably do it at the weekend, but who knows. So this is all the stuff from downstairs. Mainly, that's clean laundry that's been waiting to go upstairs for about a week. We've just been festering through the sofa to get it. Or not festering through the sofa. Rummaging through the pile on the sofa. I don't know why I said festering. Anyway, Craig's room. Like I said before, Craig is genuinely a very neat and tidy young man. As you can see from his room, he is a very neat, tidy young man. If I tell him or ask him to make his bed and that sort of thing, he will do it, you know. He's a bit like me in a way. If he's reminded he needs to do something, he'll do it. And you don't have to nag him either. You just be like, don't forget to make your bed, don't forget to do this, and boom, he'll get up and do it. He just needs that little reminder to do it. But he's a very clean and tidy young man, and now he has his bin back. He's using it. I did get a comment on one of my videos saying that obviously it's not my fault that he doesn't have a bin. He could get up and bring his rubbish downstairs. Now, he could do. He could. But he's very much like the rest of us in the house. And let's say he has a pack of crisps. He puts it on the floor next to him. He thinks, when I go downstairs, I'll take that down with me. He then gets up to come downstairs. And because you don't routinely bring an empty wrapper downstairs with you, you forget it's there. Now, that could be lazy. That could be a number of things. But that's what's happening. Now he's got the rubbish bag in his room, or the rubbish bin in his room. He's popping in there. It's just making things easier rather than expecting people to go the extra lengths to keep themselves clean and tidy. Which, you know, we should go the extra length to keep ourselves clean and tidy. But why not just make it easier? Anyway, as you can see, his room was lovely. Now, Alyssa's room. Look how clean she's been keeping it, guys. Her laundry is in her laundry hamper. Her bed is made. Every day she makes her bed. Now, I was waiting for a delivery of storage boxes for the rest of her stuff in her room. So there are still a few things that are not littered about the place. They're all where they should be, but it still looks quite cluttered because she has a lot of possessions. And I ordered her 3 32-litre storage boxes that could slide under her bed. What they sent me was one 72-litre storage bin, which won't fit under her bed, which won't fit anywhere in her room, as a matter of fact. So I had to send it back, and we were waiting for it. Now, they did come in the day before this video was filmed, so I do have them, and I am going to grab them in a little while, and we will sort of start to organise the bits in her room. But it's clean. There may be stuff on every available surface, but it's not rubbish. They're teddies, they're candles, they're little art projects, things like that. So yeah, it's clean. Her room is still clean. She's using her bin, she's using her linen basket and everything. It is amazing. Now, one of the things I did want in her room was a memory board. So that's what I'm just doing here now. Nice little memory board, pictures from the past, pictures of Jake and stuff like that. Jake was her pet not many moons ago. I think it was a year ago, actually. He crossed the Rainbow Bridge. And we miss him every day. He was a beautiful, wonderful little cat. And yeah, we miss him every day. So the memory board is up. And it means there's not so many photos and bits of stuff flying around the place. I did hoover Alyssa's room, and I hoovered under her bed, so you did miss that. Unfortunately, given the size of her room and where her bed is, there's not a lot of room to show you hoovering, but you know what hoovering looks like. Now under her bed is clean, I can get that. Ooh, she does have some shelves that need going up as well. I must remember to get Dell to drill the holes. Yeah, I'm scared of our hammer drill. I'm going to have to get Dell to drill some holes to put the shelves up. Oh, so much to remember. So little brain to do it with. I'll get round to remembering it. Anyway, now the kids' rooms are done. I had to wait for them to go off to work and college before I could get up and do their rooms, which is why I started in our room, came downstairs and then went back up to their rooms. I've got downstairs to get done now before the troops decide to return home from work and college. I'd just like to point out, I've been cleaning my house now for 9 hours. I started at 6 this morning. I took Craig to college at 8, so that's 2 hours. I lost, obviously, an hour taking him to college. So I restarted cleaning again at 9. It's 4 o'clock when I finish. So 9 hours, yeah. Whew, 9 hours. And people tell me I'm lucky because I only work 4 days a week. Actually, I work 4 days a week at a paid job. I actually leave the house and go to employment 4 days a week. But I'm sorry, 9 hours doing this, that's work. I might not be paid for it, but I am still working. And yeah, okay, when I come home from work, I probably could do a little bit each day. I could just sort of, I don't know, have a quick tidy up, fold the laundry, do some ironing, something like that. But to be honest with you, I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. Dale comes home from work and he cooks dinner. And, you know, he works long hours, he does cook dinner. But on the weekends, when he has the weekend off, I go shopping. If we need something from Asda or wherever, I'll go shopping. He tends to stay here. He'll come with me sometimes. But if we need bits from the house, for the house, I go and get them. I go out shopping. And mostly his days off are his days off. He'll sit and play the Xbox, watch something on the Prime or whatever. Yeah, sometimes he'll drive me to, like, I don't know, the pet store to get bugs for whatever. But mostly, Dell's days off are Dell's days off. I don't ever realistically get a full day off. And even if I do take a day off, like I said earlier in the video, I've been really lazy lately. I haven't been doing half as much as I should. I've been doing nothing. But it's all weighted for me. You know, Dell doesn't do anything let's say he doesn't do anything on a Saturday. And Alyssa and Craig, they don't do anything on a Saturday, let's say. When they wake up the next morning, it's not waiting for them. So they can take a day off. If I have a down day, it doesn't go anywhere. It still waits for me. And that gives me double the workload the next day. So yeah, I don't ever get a day off. So when I come home from work, I ain't lifting a finger. It can all wait for me for my day off. Mind you, might have to rethink that, because perhaps if I did a little bit every time I came home from work, my day off I could whiz round in an hour. And then I could have like a day off. But then see, I'm still not getting a day off. Every day, I'm still going to have to do stuff. I'm still going to have to do something. So yeah, I may as well come home from work, just relax and switch off, and then spend 9 hours cleaning my home on my 1 week day off before doing big projects and all sorts of other stuff on my weekends. It's just how it's going to be for now. Maybe once the kids have flown the nest and it's just me and Dell, I can change things. Who knows? I know one thing I am changing for damn sure though. These sofas. I hate fabric sofas, especially while we've got a dog. Well, obviously, living in the countryside and having a border collie, especially in winter or when it's been raining, there is mud everywhere. And yeah, we do wash him off, we do clean him down, we do sort of dry him off before he comes in the house. But that's not going to eliminate the muck. When he comes home from walk, the first thing he does is jump on the sofa, or he'll run upstairs and jump on our bed. And then, of course, there's mud everywhere. As you can see from the dust, he went for a walk the other day. And obviously, when he came back in, no matter how clean you get him, it's still sort of in his fur or on his feet or whatever. And, well, he dried off and the dust kind of went everywhere. Now, that's no big deal. It's just a bit of dust, It's quite a bit of dust spread out around the whole of the living room. But it sweeps up, it's fine. Sweeps up, quick mop, and you'd never know it was there. But obviously with the sofas, the dust tends to get into the fabric. That causes issues. And I don't like that. I did have throws, but obviously wet mud or even just like water. Let's say it's not mud, it's not like thick mud. He lays in a puddle. That puddle's still not clean. It's not clean, fresh drinking water in the puddle. It's mucky water. And that obviously goes through the throw onto the fabric of the fabric sofa. So they're always kind of dusty, muddy. Ugh. I want leather sofas so I can wipe them down. Every day I can just wipe them down with a cloth, clean the mud off, and then it doesn't matter if he comes home mucky from a walk, swan dives onto the sofas. He comes running in and he's like, oh look, a giant soft towel, and then he throws himself all over it and rolls about and just covers it in muck. But like I say, if I've got a leather sofa, then yay, I can just wipe it off when he's done rolling around on it, and it won't be such a problem. It just helps me keep things a bit cleaner, a bit fresher. Now the sofas do get deep cleaned before we have any guests come down. We don't have guests come down that often. My sister, my dad, and occasionally my in-laws. But everyone that comes to visit books to visit. Probably because they know how dirty the house is. Huh, that's a thought. Yes, I know, I'm sorry. I did just use the broom to sweep the sofa to try and get the mud off of it. I know. I'm a shameful human being. I hate it. I hate having the fabric sofa and knowing that the dust and muck is there. But that's Woody's sofa, and the guests that we have come to see us, like I say, they always book in. My sister has to book in because of her allergies to the dog and the cat. So I have to thoroughly deep clean the house, as you've seen from previous videos, when she visits anyway. And my in-laws, well, they only really visit around Christmas time, and we know they're coming down, so the house gets a bit of an extra deep clean there too. Realistically, it's only a problem during the winter, because obviously during the summer it's dry and there aren't really puddles for him to go laying in, and it is so much cleaner. But obviously during the winter it becomes a massive problem. So like I say, I am going to be getting leather sofas as part of my living room revamp. That means that whenever he comes in from his walk, whether he's rinsed off or not, he isn't going to get the sofas all mucky and wet and horrible. And even if he does, they can just be wiped clean. Quick spray, quick wipe, voila. I did used to have throws for the sofa, but obviously with the throws being fabric as well, any like mucky water that was on him or any mud would just sort of soak through the fabric of the throw and into the fabric sofa anyway. So it didn't really help keep them much cleaner. I really just cannot wait. We've tried to do everything. Myself and Dell came from homeless, basically. And I found out I was pregnant with Alyssa while we weren't on the streets. We were sort of sofa hopping at that time, waiting to sort out some temporary accommodation when I found out I was pregnant with Alyssa. So myself and Dell have come from really quite unstable, skint beginnings, and we've had to do everything on the quick and on the cheap. And of course, when you're doing things on the quick and on the cheap, it tends to fall apart, it tends not to be great, you tend to always be trying to catch up with yourself, and it's exhausting. But now the kids are older and, you know, they're taking more responsibility for their own lives, it's time to kind of level up my life. And that means that there is going to be no more filthy dirty dog jumping all over the sofas. And even if there is a filthy dirty dog jumping over the sofas, they're going to be leather sofas, so they're easier to clean. There's going to be no more muck, mud and dog hair and falling apart bits of furniture and badly decorated walls. It's going to take me a while to correct it all, because obviously there's a lot to sort. But I will be getting there. I will be getting to a home that I'm proud of. I will be getting to a place that I'm proud of. I don't want to be this way anymore. I don't want to film these voiceovers and try and have to work out what I'm going to say that doesn't make it sound like I don't care, my house is disgusting. Because I do care. But like with the mud on the sofa, I could have just been like, well, yeah, you know, we've got a border collie, we live in the country and it rains and it gets muddy. That's all true. But it's also very true that having a sofa covered in mud and dust isn't exactly the best way to be living. And I am not making any excuses for it other than I just don't have the time or the energy to actually worry about it. We don't have visitors around that often. So there's no, other than for ourselves, there's no real point taking pride in something, you know? That if that sofa's covered in mud, it's only the dog that lays on it, it's not a big problem. So yeah, I could use that as an excuse, but I'm tired of having excuses. I want someone to be able to knock on the door and me be able to say, oh, come in, have a seat, let's have a cup of coffee and a chat, and not think, oh, holy hell, I hope they're not wearing white because otherwise they're going to go out in tan coloured trousers. You know, I'm tired of it, and it's got to change. I bet you all thought that was a bin bag of trash, didn't you? It's not a bin bag of trash. It's a bin bag full of Halloween decorations that I took down last week. We haven't got a home for them. This is the thing with Alicia. She buys more and more and more stuff, and we don't have a home for it all. So now I've just got a black bin bag full of Halloween decorations that I have to keep moving around the house because it doesn't have anywhere to live. I do have my big shed. My big shed out in the back garden was supposed to be my home gym. I ain't got the money to put into a home gym. So I might just use that for like decor, storage and stuff like that. I don't know yet. We need a massive clean out. I need to take like 2 months off of work, 3 months off of work and go through the whole house and declutter and sort it and organise it and buy storage tote bins and just fix everything. This is why I said it's going to be a long project, guys. It really is going to be a long project. My life with Dell, we've been together 20 years, just over now. And like I said, we've come from some really crap beginnings, both of us. And we're desperately trying to figure this out and sort our lives out. And it's just going to take a lot of getting there. But we will. We love each other. We love our kids. We are a great family unit. Somewhat dysfunctional sometimes, but, you know, we'll get there. Where there's a will, there's usually a way. This corner is just a nightmare. Hate this corner. All the cables from the electric box just fall out everywhere. We have a box full of like electric cables and stuff and they're everywhere. Oh, I can't wait to get organised. Anyway, let's sweep up some more dust because the organisation isn't going to happen overnight. I know it's not. The clean, the tidy, the changing of the habits, all that ain't going to change overnight. It will change one day though. It has to. So, last room on the list, guys, is the kitchen. This kitchen, bane of my life. This tiny little space, which is about the size of 2 microwaves put side by side, is the only workspace we have in the kitchen. There's nowhere else in here so we've got the cooker, we've got the fridge, we've got the tumble dryer, we've got the washing machine. Those 4 appliances do not fit in this kitchen. Now, we could put the tumble dryer in another room in the house. But where else would it go? It can't go anywhere else. We can't put the fridge anywhere else. Obviously, the washing machine has to be plumbed in. And the cooker, you need it in the kitchen. So this tiny, tiny little workspace is all we've got. Now, I am looking, like I've said before, to get a smaller cooker because we've got a double range cooker. I want a smaller cooker and a dishwasher next to it. or the tumble dryer up this end next to it. Either way. That way we can have the worktop like across the top of the tumble dryer, which will be up next to this cooker. And that'll give us some more worktop space. Then the dishwasher will go next to the washing machine. And the fridge is just going to have to stay on the countertop where it is. There's just no room. One of the plans, hopefully, is to get enough money together to knock through the end of the kitchen and extend it. That would be the best plan. That would be like, woohoo, we've done it. But that's going to take a fair whack of money. For now, it's just desperately trying to make do. It's just, I hate this kitchen. It's so tiny. These houses were originally 2 up, 2 down. The kitchen is just a single skinned extension and was basically just sort of an add-on for a single couple. Really, that's all it was. It was never designed to have modern day families in them, and it's a nightmare. And I'm seeing that a lot more with social housing, actually. These houses were never designed to take the amount of people they're taking. They've just sort of added on these little brick outhouses and stuff more and more people in them. But it is my hope with the addition of the dishwasher that there will not be all this mess over the sides every day. Like, literally, we can finish our dinner, scrape our plates off into the bin, pop them into the dishwasher. It can run overnight while we're all snoring our little heads off in bed. And then first thing in the morning, I can trot downstairs, pull them all out of the dishwasher, throw them back in the cupboards, and boom, kitchen's clean. I did try getting rid of the bins. That didn't work very well. The recycling bin and the cardboard bin are actually back in the house now. And because they're the only 2 bins in the house, obviously people are just randomly filling them full of rubbish, or they were. They're now actually using them as the proper bins. So I'm hoping to get like a little cupboard bin or something like that, just a little carrier baggy type bin that we can scrape leftovers into, that sort of thing, and then everything can go in the dishwasher. But that is the plans for the kitchen. It's just, like I say, it's going to take a long time to get everything sorted the way I want it done. For now, though, I will just have to do my best. And that's what I've done today. I've done every room top to bottom. I've cobwebbed, I've dusted, I've cleaned. The only thing I haven't done is shampooed the carpets, but that is going to be a whole day job in and of itself. Now, I know you haven't seen it here, but I have mopped, and yep, I bought bleach. I hate the smell of bleach. Ugh, I really do. But I wanted it nice, clean and fresh, so I did buy some bleach, and the floors have been bleached. You can see there, Mount Washmore. I've got to get through that, and I have to take the bins out as well. But like I say, sometimes you just have to do your best. You have to stay on top of it. You have to realise where you're making mistakes, admit and learn from them. Yeah, I'm not the cleanest person. No one's died in my family or caught a contagious illness from the mess or the chaos. But that doesn't mean I want to live like it forever. I'm learning every single day the things I need to do, and I'm getting better with it. So for now, guys, I'm going to leave you, and I will see you all again in the next video. Bye for now.